Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and welcome to another episode of Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. I'm joined today by Nadir Price. Nadir, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you, especially because Nadir and I go back to 2013 when we were both studying. Coincidentally, I did not even wear this shirt on purpose today, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep it on. We were both studying at Galen University, and now we're both done with school. And I'm here in DC, kind of doing my thing, and Nadir's just traveling all around the world, taking pictures, and not only taking pictures, but taking high quality, top class pictures. So, a very, very professional photographer, and that's why we want to have you on here.
Thank you very much for that good introduction.
Do you remember 2013?
I do. I do remember when you got down to Belize, and I remember that was how we first connected with videos and photography, and I saw some of your work. I was like, damn, his work is so legit. That was like the first time I kind of like got introduced to like an American creative. And that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome.
Us Americans have our way. Nadir, how long have you been a photographer? Or how long would you have considered yourself a photographer?
I would say probably when I began Galen. I've always been a photographer, but it was more like a hobby. And when I began Galen, I got a scholarship to be their photographer, to photograph their teams, their basketball teams. And then that was when I began getting more serious into it. So I was their official photographer. That was around 4 years ago.
Was that only 4 years ago? Huh? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe five. We'll say 5.
Yeah.
You've been a photographer for 5 years. Sounds better. So when do you think within that 5-year period, when was it something that you realized like, wow, I really want to take this to the next level?
I think it was probably around 2 years ago. But I just had the idea of doing something, of traveling and taking pictures and just doing like adventure photography. But I guess I wasn't really sure if that was even a thing. I was just like really just unsure of what that could, if I could even do something in that field. And when I was about to finish with school, I had a few jobs that I applied for that I really wanted to get, but they were just taking forever. And that is when we coincidentally just reconnected, to come to DC and just do some shoots for you. And I was still very unsure of what I wanted to do. And I remember when I made the decision to come here to DC, I was like, man, it was like really hard for me because I was like leaving these opportunities because it looks like they were never going to present themselves. I was waiting for too long. And I remember you told me like, hey, just come over to DC and let's shoot some stuff out here. I was like, man, I'm not sure if I should. It was pretty scary for me. I was like, you know what? This is it. Like, whatever happens will just happen. And I just came over, and it's been quite a pretty insane ride ever since. It's just been pretty epic. Going places, meeting people, it's just been pretty insane.
Yeah, you've really not only been to DC, but this whole East Coast, you've kind of gotten your own custom tour.
Oh yeah, it's it's been quite a tour. I was in New York City, Upper New York, Philadelphia. It was pretty nice. Loved it.
So what is your why? Why do you do this? What is your reason behind being such a passionate photographer?
I do it because I love it. It just makes me happy, and it just makes me at peace with myself whenever I'm doing it. Like, a lot of times people see my work, but they only see the finished product. But what I do love is just the process of doing it, like going to different places, planning where I wanted to take some pictures, or just the process involved. When I'm there, when I visualize what I want the finished product to look like, and just what I'm thinking while I'm doing, while I'm there in the process, what my emotions are. So whenever I'm done with the editing and the post-production, whenever the picture is already published, I would go back and I would just look at it probably a few months later, and I'm like, wow, I just begin thinking about all the things that were running through my mind when I was taking the picture. So it is a fragment in time, and that is what I really love about it.
That's really cool, and especially you mentioned taking a picture, and you know, looking at that picture brings back an entire experience and memory to you that could be completely different from whoever's double tapping on Instagram.
Absolutely. But the cool thing about it is that everyone that sees the pictures, they have their own interpretation of what they see. So that's a cool thing about art, I guess. That's just art in general.
I want to take a quick side note to take a look at your attire today and what you're wearing. I know you're very, very big on how you present yourself and how you dress. You kind of have your own unique way of viewing what's the right thing to wear. So do you want to talk about your wrinkled shirt that you're wearing today?
Oh, I'm just wearing a wrinkled green shirt. Green, this is my favorite color. And I was like, you know what, I'll just be myself. I wasn't really planning on dressing up or being in a suit and tie. I was like, just be myself and just be real as a person, you know. I mean, this is who I am. I mean, this is what you get pretty much, you know. Not that it's something bad.
No, it's real. It's authentic.
Yeah.
And I really admire that. That's one thing. You know, thankfully, even a few weeks ago, Nadir and I had the privilege of getting a tour of the White House, and you know, for me in my head, I'm like, I'm going to the White House. I'm going to wear a suit. Duh. Like, why not? And then Nadir's there, and he's kind of dressed up, but he's just doing his thing. He's like, you know what? There's no rule that says you have to fit in this box, and Nadir's always been really, really good at that. It's one thing I admire about you, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I'm more like a minimalist, you know. I don't really like to dress a lot, or not that I don't like to dress a lot, or I just like to keep it simple. You know, I don't like to think too much about how I'll be looking or whatnot. Even though it's good to be presentable, but I just like to keep it minimal. Just like that.
What would you say are, as a photographer, are some of the downsides to the work that you do in the industry, and what are some of the positives?
I think some of the downsides are that the industry is very saturated. Photographers are everywhere, and especially here in the US. Like, I've been to DC by the monuments, and I've seen photographers from all over, like with really high-end cameras, high-end equipment. So that's one of the downsides. Another one is how expensive it is. The equipment is pretty expensive, and I would say those are two of the major downsides. But one of the positives is just the experience that you have, and just the people that you meet, and you get to network with people. And when you have your own style of photography, people like it, and I guess you can create your own audience, and you can just create your brand. You build your brand off of that. So that's kind of like the cool thing about it.
Right. Yeah, you've really, I would say, after following you on Instagram for years now, as you mentioned, it seems like the past 2 years you really honed in on your style and your craft and continue to produce quality images where every time you post, it's not something that someone's gonna just keep scrolling. They're gonna stop and actually look at what did Nadir post today.
Yeah, definitely.
What industry role models and leaders have really impacted your photography journey?
There are 3 photographers that I really look up to. The first one is Travis Burke. He's from San Diego. He's a travel adventure photographer. He has been all over the world, and I just love his style of photography, and especially how he photographs the Milky Way and just nightscapes. And that's pretty cool. The next one is Chris Burkhardt. He's also from California. He travels around the world also, and he does a lot of landscapes. He travels to remote places in the world, which is something that I hope I can do sometime. And the other one is Ep4. He's a photographer from Canada. And his style is similar to adventure photography, but he brings more of an artistic side to it. So those are the 3 photographers that I do get a lot of inspiration from.
If any of those 3 happen to watch this interview, what would your message to them be?
Be like, that's kind of, I don't know, I mean, I would like to, who knows, probably chill with them sometime and just learn from them and finally get to meet them. Yeah, that would be cool. Definitely.
That question wasn't in the original list of questions I sent Nadir, so he was a little caught off guard right now.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Yeah. Hopefully they see this. We'll tag them. We'll make sure we tag those guys in this interview.
Definitely.
How do you want your brand to be perceived by your audience?
I just want my brand to be perceived as realistic and just artistic, but also realistic, you know. And I'm more focused into adventure photography, and I just want to portray also the coolness, and not I wouldn't say the coolness, but like just nature in general and how beautiful nature it is, and I just wanted to have like an ecological impact in my work, you know, like just to preserve nature in general. So it's
a lot of nature preservation.
Definitely. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a conservationist. But then when I went to college, I was like, I was always afraid of nature, animals, and so I never did follow that path. And I did computer science, but I guess it's all now kind of like coming together now.
Right. Maybe it's a good thing you didn't go to school for it, because maybe you would have gotten tired of it or something.
Right.
Now it's more authentic. What do you like to do for inspiration to kind of get your brain going, new ideas?
For inspiration, I guess I just like to read, just some books about just different places. For example, some of my favorite books are by Aldous Huxley. He's an English author. His books are more of a open your mind type of books that talks about different places and cultures, even though all of them are just fantasy. But I do like being in nature also, and just experiencing different cultures, and that really inspires me to capture those moments and show the world that there is, just show the vastness of the world and just the beauty of it.
Right. So really travel is what brings you inspiration.
Absolutely.
Just even when you kind of just go out there sometimes and get lost, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's cool, because even when you get lost, I've been lost in Mexico a few times, and just the process, just the experience of being lost and what you do and how your mind reacts, how you react as a person, and that has really humbled me also. Like just things will happen, and just be cool about it. Just be here, be present, and do what you have to do to get out of this. And it has happened a lot, so it has really humbled me, and I'm pretty grateful for that.
That's great. It's great to hear, especially how it creates a humbling experience.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give to a young photographer, a young entrepreneur, getting their business started, and also what's something that you've done in the past that looking back you would have done differently now?
I think some things that I've done in the past is I wish I would have followed my inner voice like a long time ago, because this was something I always wanted to do, but I just wasn't confident in myself. I was like, nah, like it's not possible. And I wish I could have done that over. If I had the opportunity to go back in time, I would have definitely just focused on the things I wanted to do. And one of my biggest advices would be, whatever dream or passion you have, just follow it, regardless of what you think or what people will think, or what you think people will think. Just follow your passion. You never know where it's going to lead you. It could lead you to even greater things that you didn't even thought were possible. So that's definitely one thing I would
advice.
advice.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good. It's inspiring me right now. Well, we're almost done with the interview. We got 3 more quick, fun questions for you, Nadir. If you could tell me real quick, what's your favorite food, your favorite city, and your favorite animal?
My favorite food, falafel. I do love the chickpeas and the greens. My favorite animal, definitely raccoons. I've always loved raccoons for what reason? I don't know. I guess they're just very inquisitive, always getting into trouble. I just like raccoons. And my favorite city would be probably Philadelphia. That's like my favorite city I've ever visited. You know, that's one of the coolest cities.
What reason? Why Philly over other cities?
Philly, I think it was just the experience that I had. I was there to photograph an event, and I was walking all over the city, and just a lot of it was just the culture of the city itself. You know, it's not like a super cool city. Well, it is cool, but it's not like one of the top ranked cities.
It's not LA, it's not New York.
No.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
What I liked about it was just the culture of people, and everyone was really quite friendly. From a lot of cities I've been to, everyone was just friendly and just wanted to know what's up. Like who am I?
And you were there right after the Super Bowl too, right?
Yeah. So everyone was in this zone of celebration, and that was pretty cool to see. So I guess that's one of my favorite cities.
All right. So falafel, raccoons, and Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Quite a mean combination right there.
Oh yeah.
Great. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Dream Chasers Interviews with the Future. Make sure you stay following the Facebook page and YouTube. Subscribe to us, like us, because we've got more interviews with the future coming your way. And even more importantly, Nadir, how can the audience stay engaged and follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram and
your username.
My handle.
Your handle. Yeah.
Yeah, my handle is Nadir Price, NADIR PRICE, and very simple. And I also have my website, nadirprice.com, and you can follow me there, where I'll be posting a lot of my works, and just I'll be doing a little bit of blogging also. So
right.
I guess those are, and also my YouTube channel. Well, all my social media links are Nadir Price. So
pretty easy to find on social media. Yep. So yeah, make sure you follow Nadir on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else you may be. I think I saw you're on Twitter now too.
Oh yeah.
That's how you know you're becoming American. Right?
yeah, I'm on Twitter.
And then same goes for us. Like, subscribe to our channel as well, so you don't miss any more of this awesome content. Nadir, Brother Price.
Thank you very much for having me, Adam.
I'll see you in a little bit.
Quite a pleasure. Yeah.
Thank you.